All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to pick up here with the VM DevOps extra configuration and do a little bit of smoke testing. Not too much smoke testing to be done on this one. Just want to check on the status of the DSC registrations for those two VMs. So we'll pull up our automation account and go look at state configuration. And I've provisioned in the Azure Sandbox, so I've got already two VMs that I configured using DSC, my domain controller and my Windows jump box. And here's my two new developer VMs, and they're both showing as compliant, which is great. Sometimes that can be a false positive if it's captured pretty early in the registration process. So let's make sure it's not a false positive. And I can see here I've got two passes that DSC took looking at this VM. Let's look at the most recent one that was done at 7/29. And this is looking really good. It's like we domain joined the machine, we installed Chocolatey, and then Chocolatey successfully installed VS Code and SQL Server Management Studio, which were the two pieces of software that I was pushing on this machine. And you can push however many different pieces of software and however many developer tools you want. I just threw a couple in here as a sample, but I've seen customers do 20 or 30 different installs here. As long as they're in Chocolatey, you can install them. All right, so that's cool. We can do one other thing from a smoke testing perspective. We can go log into one of these VMs. Now, I've seen with Windows clients sometimes the first login can take some time. We'll just select them here in the portal, and we'll do a restart. All right, so the VMs have restarted. Let's see if we have any more luck logging in now. Sometimes they can be a little sluggish after the first time that they were built for that first login. All right, success. Reboot seems to have done the trick. And we'll just quick take a look at one of these VMs to make sure it was. So we can see Visual Studio Code got installed, and then SQL Server Management Studio was the other thing. Let's go check the disks first. So I'll just fire up File Explorer, and we'll go take a look at the disks. And you can see here, that the operating system disk was expanded from 128 gigs to 256 gigs, which is great. So plenty of free space on C. And we've got our data drive, which was 64 gigs, and that's been initialized, partitioned, and formatted. And we put a label on there of F data. Your drive letters in Azure should start at F because D is usually reserved for the temp drive, and E is usually reserved for the quote unquote CD. So if you're like mounting ISO images or whatever, E is usually reserved for that. Yeah, and then if you're needing to debug that custom script extension, you can go in here to see packages, plugins, custom script extensions, downloads, 0. And here's the log file for our custom script extension showing, that it, resized the boot partition and showing how it initialized, partitioned, and formatted the data disk. So there's a little log file there in case you need to debug anything that you might happen to add to that script. So that's cool. Let's log off. And just for giggles, I'm going to try to sign back in again and see how much faster it is, because that first one is a bear on these tiny little VMs. To our dev VM one more time, see if it's a little bit speedier. Great. Yeah, that happened a lot faster. So very cool. All right. So that completes our smoke testing, and we will see you in the next video.